I think it's going to be a mix, but with a lot more emphasis on it being detrimental. There's a huge argument that for people like, we heard it from Foster actually, that from people like Honey Boo Boo and the people in those kind of shows, that it gives them a job, it gives them something, they're making a lot of money. Honey Boo Boo isn't going to last. People are going to get bored of Honey Boo Boo after a couple of years, and nobody's going to know who she is after a couple of years. Whereas, and that's a negative effect for them, but it's also a negative effect for people watching the show, because they're going to take the things that they watch on that show and possibly apply it to their life, and it's not a successful way to go. You might be in the spotlight for your 15 minutes of fame, and you might have a glamorous life or whatever, but it's going to be gone eventually. But some shows like Shark Tank or The Voice or American Idol, where you compete, you get set up on a sustainable career, you have things that you can do, it inspires people to say, here I am, I'm going to work for it, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to do it. That is going to have long-term positive effects on people, because it's going to inspire audiences and it's going to give the people on the shows solid futures. So I think overall it's going to be a mix for both the people in the shows and the people watching the shows.
Thank you, Ben. I kind of agree with your answer. Thanks for sharing that. And thank you for coming on the show tonight. It was an honor, pleasure to have you on.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Webb, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, there's going to be negatives and positives. You know, maybe more of the negatives would be shows like Jersey Shore or Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because, you know, what they're producing is kind of sad and sleazy and, you know, not the best role model. But then, you know, of course, I mean, gosh, on The Biggest Loser, when they come out at the end and, like, they lost all the weight, gosh, you just want to cry for them. I mean, it is like, wow. So, you know, it is a total mixed bag. And there's going to be amazing things, and there's going to be not so amazing things, but then that's everyone's personal choice. So I don't know if it's really affecting culture. You know, it's negatives and positives. It's 50-50.
50-50. Claire, how about you? Your closing thoughts.
Well, I agree that there's a mixed bag of things. Like we talked about earlier, I think that some of these bad role models that we're seeing, like, you know, getting drunk and hooking up with people, we're also seeing some of the consequences that come from those things. You know, and I think that can be a positive thing, so that teens and people that are watching the show are less likely to do those actions because they see those consequences. However, those people, there are always going to be those people that take people seriously on television always and think that that's the way they should act, and that's the negative side of it.
So even some of the less inspirational examples of reality TV can have their benefits as kind of a warning sign, is what you're saying.
Hopefully.
Great. Thank you for coming on the show as well, Claire. Thanks for your closing thoughts. And Grace, you're our last panelist.
Okay.
What's your answer?
Well, it's hard to say something different from all these thoughts, but as our culture changes and society changes, what they like to see on TV, so will reality TV, and whether you choose to watch it or not is your choice. And I don't really feel like it's affecting our culture as much as our culture is affecting reality TV.
That's a good point. I like that. All right. So thank you all for joining me on the panel tonight. It's been a pleasure. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you'll tune in for next week's show, Not Getting Your Slice of the Pie, The American Dream, The Impossible American Dream. Until then, good night. Thank you all. All right. Good show. Glad to have you again. Thank you.
I just want to